This week, I don't know. Do you read ESPN, basketball, NBA? Where do you get your NBA content? I'm curious. Let's
So I'm big on like YouTube, right?
YouTube.
So
YouTube.
I'll watch like the Jump, and the Thursday night, the Tuesday night, the TNT stuff, and I watch the shorts, right? So when they have a specific topic, I watch that, and I do align it with my interests. So obviously anything Phoenix related, I'll probably watch that, and then whatever the interesting titles are, I watch that as well.
Okay.
Ironically, stay away from the takes.
Okay. So basically, you're saying you get all your content basically from videos. Is that what you're saying? You don't really read articles?
No, yeah, yeah, totally
Okay.
right.
Oh, there you go. Okay, cool. Well, look, honestly, I got a lot of my content actually reading articles. I do watch YouTube a little bit, and obviously, I see social media circulating NBA stuff. Facebook, I guess, is one, and things like that. And one of the articles in the last week was this one here. It's the title. Here's the title. Okay, inside NBA's unwritten rule: passing the ball with seconds left on the clock. Okay, and obviously the article was about how players hate hate or dislike other players that give them the ball with, they dribble down the shot clock, and there's a few seconds left in the game, or sorry, in the shot clock, and they're obviously being tossed the ball, and they have to throw up what they call a grenade, and it affects their stats. Okay, obviously it brings down the shooting percentage because they can't get a good shot off, in that sort of sense. I guess part of this take that I wanted to sort of put on the table with you is that these sort of articles feel so unnecessary because it's a similar topic to like when games are blown out. Yeah, and we played obviously, basketball for a while, and we knew basketball before it was taboo that, oh no, what, you're up by 10, you better hold the ball for the last 24 seconds. Because back in the day, you would just go down there and shoot a shot because, everyone wants to just get another bucket because you're just playing basketball, right? And so, look, I guess my thought here is that these things now in the common or in the modern day era of today's basketball doesn't actually make the game any better. It makes the game seems like we're just real sensitive players.
The unwritten rules. I'm going to link this to a podcast that I listened to with Gilbert Arenas, of all players, and he was talking about how contract stipulations really mess up the integrity of basketball. So, for example, field goal percentage is a legitimate thing that some players have in their contract
Yes,
that
yes,
impacts how much money they're going to get.
yes.
So, when we speak about the unwritten rule, I actually don't think that that's a big deal. But what it actually ends up doing is jeopardizing certain players where when they get thrown that grenade, for example, it's an unfair shot that potentially could have money implications down the line. And it's easy to say, well, it's just one shot, but there are statistical like any contract, it's a fine line, it's a firm line, and if you're point one over it, then so be it. You've missed out on your bonus of whatever that may be. And that's probably impacting more the integrity of the game than the other. It's why no one takes half court heaves, is because it's actually impactful to 3 point field goal percentage, right? So, how do you mitigate that? Do you not count them as certain shots unless they go in? Because one thing that baffles me is when I take a field goal but I am fouled, it is not recorded as a field goal attempted, right? I'm not sure if you're aware of that.
Yes.
That's interesting to me because if I make the shot while fouled, then it's like a magical shot appears out of thin air and it goes onto my stat register. And I understand that you could abuse that power and then lower someone's field goal percentage, but from a statistician standpoint, that's definitely probably creeping into how players played a little bit more than the unwritten rule stuff.
Look, I think this grenade article, okay, yes, you're 100% right. The law, if it does lower your percentage, players obviously are mindful of that in regards to their paychecks and so on and so forth. But I don't know. Look, I read the whole article, and there was a line in there that basically is that if a shot clock violation occurs, then it's actually a team turnover. Okay, and it stipulated in the article that obviously that effectively is what some players do. Okay, some players will hide on the floor. They don't want that pass within the last 5 seconds of the shot clock, so they're not going to get themselves open, and others are going to shoot it a bit late, and so on and so forth. So I guess again, it feels like that there are players that, and I'm not, I don't know, about the stats here. Maybe we don't have this sort of information right now at hand, but I guess that I'd imagine not that many players have a percentage clause in our contracts. Okay. Um, so it feels like an overblown issue. And just like the one at the end of the game where, oh, it's I don't know even what it's termed. It's unbasketball like to go get that bucket. The biggest latest one was when Zion went and dunked it, and they're up by, I don't know, double digits or 7 points or something. And then there was a huge uproar by the Suns actually for you guys that, oh my God, how unbasketball like. These sort of plays here, who cares? You don't want him to dunk it, then go play D on him.
Well, I mean, one of the other things that pops into mind as well is you're talking about Vegas lines, right? So you're talking about betting on a player or a team making a certain amount of shots and those kind of things coming into it. Now, the reason why I'm bringing all this up is because you all of these external factors do contribute to what's happening on the court, right? I'm not even referencing like conspiracy stuff of, oh, I'm not going to take shots to keep my stats a certain way. But the team turnover thing is good in theory, right? But then how do rebounds work when there's a tap out, for example? Is that a team rebound? So, I think the reason why we're having this conversation is there a revision over some of the statistician stuff, right? Because the unwritten rules is more about code of conduct. And what would be maybe fantastic is what if the league actually wrote down those unwritten rules, right? Instead of just pretending that we all understand that you're not supposed to shoot in the last minute. What if we did that? I don't know if you've ever experienced this in a junior context, but I've coached teams where full court press becomes really taboo when the score starts to get a little bit out of hand. So
Oh,
if you're still full court pressing,
you're trying too hard.
yes. So this is the thing where we, regardless of what level, we create these kind of narratives about the expectation over what you should do. So if I'm losing, then we should all just accept that the game's over and no one should try hard anymore. But obviously, that's not in the spirit of competition. And then, we don't want referees to blow the whistle in the last 10 seconds. We want the players to decide the game. So, there's a litany of these rules that really impact how we perceive basketball. And what you're referencing, obviously, to bring it all back, is passing the ball to a teammate that is in a really compromised position that really has to chuck up a shot, is not fair and is bad, right? But I would also say that they would occur maybe twice a game, right? And the team turnover probably mitigates that issue. And I think the frustration that they might visibly see on players is probably more that that's just a bad offensive possession, right? But when you have 24 seconds to take a shot and there's going to be about 90 to 100 possessions for your team on offense, I think it definitely falls to the wayside very quickly in the grand scheme of the game.
I feel like we should make this part one of this recording, and I'm going to go Google NBA unwritten rules, and we'll come back about this.
Yeah, right.
Yo, this is Two Guys with Spare Time. I'm Faz, this is Nick. You're probably a basketball fan like us, so hopefully you can throw us an assist and giving our video a like and subscribing to our channel.
And if you got thoughts, feelings, or even some suggestions, please put them down in the comment section below. And thank you for using your spare time to watch us in our spare time.